Would you drive to the other side of Europe, 1,000 kilometers away from home, with a car that has a mechanical issue, only to drive one of the best racetracks in Europe and share the whole experience with some of your closest friends?
This is the best choice. You made the best choice.
Would you do this? We did the right thing?
Yes.
Join me for what will be the make it or break it trip to understand if this car has a place in my life.
This is your car.
And I have to show you something.
Oh my god.
It has 3 pedals. Look there. Honestly, one of the best days of my complete adult life. So let me explain a little bit what we are doing, and we're gonna need a map. In the first episode, we went to Belgium and we bought a 2008 GT3. Let me show you. You are not ready for this.
It's there, but he hasn't really seen the car, so you're actually going to see his honest impressions. So let's have a look at that.
I absolutely love it. I shouldn't have driven it. We took that car and we brought it at the Nürburgring. Instead of driving the best track in the world, we drove all the way down to Italy, to Ancona, took a boat for 24 hours, arrived to Patras in Greece, and from there drove another 200 kilometers to be in Athens, Greece, which basically we drove the racetrack that I drove for the first time ever in my life. This went amazing, and armed with this confidence, I said, I'm gonna go do something that I always dreamed for years. I'm gonna do a trip like Top Gear and Grand Tour. I'm gonna take my car to what I think is the coolest racetrack in Europe, in the other side, literally, the other side of the continent. Because exactly I was feeling confident, I took that car and I went 600 kilometers up towards Thessaloniki at Ceres, Greece, which my good friends at Trackspeed have the workshop to do the first upgrade in the car. We were excited. I showed the car to my friend Labros. We had a lot of fun, and the moment we went to test it on track, the whole project collapsed. So there's actually this tiny part. They cost like 20 euros from Porsche. They are plastic and they're hidden under everything that you see here on top of the engine. One of these was broken in my car, so that was one of the problems. There was also like another one small leak here in the top, but unfortunately this meant that the engine had to come down. I was gutted. I considered selling the car. I didn't have the money. I didn't know what to do. And remember, I have booked this expensive track day. We do the whole work. We get the car out of the workshop and we go to test it on track, only to find out that it has a new problem. There are a few controls in a car. You have steering wheel, you have gears, and when you want to change gears, this car has this beautiful thing. There is this pedal on the left. There are 3 pedals. So there is like clutch, brake, and gas. That pedal, you actually push it in and then it comes back. But this one, no, it gets stuck. So you really have to go under with your foot and pull it. And then at this point, I'm really ready to give up. But I had there Labros to push me to do this, and Sergio to say like, listen, the track day is booked, you have to make the car work. You have done these crazy adventures before, and this is true. I have taken my V6 MX-5 around all these different tracks around Europe. I have it. I just have to think that this is another car like that. I should not think that this is something special and precious, and I cannot risk it. So I say, cool, I'm gonna start this trip regardless if I know how to fix the car. So our goal now is this. From Ceres, drive 400 kilometers to Igoumenitsa port, take a boat from Igoumenitsa to Ancona, and then go all the way here to Barcelona. We are talking about 1,400 kilometers here on the road to arrive to my friend's Enrique workshop. And this is 1,400 kilometers that the car could break at any point. The part, as we said earlier, is already traveling ahead of us, so we're gonna find it. The job, it's very tricky. I just hope the clutch actually lasts and the slave cylinder actually lasts up until we arrive there. So we made it to Igoumenitsa, which is basically our connecting point with Italy. We're gonna pass all the way on the other side to Ancona, which basically is gonna start the European side of our trip. So a lot of waiting, a lot of idle time, but at the same time it's good because it means that the car is finally leaving Greece. Excited and a little bit worried, I will not lie, a little bit worried. Fingers crossed that we can actually make it through. Do not think fancy luxury trips through Europe. It means like not bed. It literally means sleeping at the deck. So 24 hours in the boat to wait to arrive at Ancona. We're exiting the port of Ancona. We have a very long trip ahead of us. I would say like 14, 15 hours of driving, 1,400 kilometers. Our next stop is Barcelona. We're gonna go find our good friend Enrique from Sim Advanced Motorworks. Again, this is not exactly the European trip you imagine, you know, like I'm gonna drive 1,500 kilometers non-stop, try to arrive there like tomorrow morning through the night, because we really need the time, like time is of the essence. So see you in a little bit. I just put 188 euros of fuel. I think we are full to the brim. 129 euros, 62 liters. Car completely full. Beautiful sunrise behind us as we're getting from France to Spain. We're getting closer. It doesn't feel like, but we are getting closer. So this is the place?
Yes.
There's a camera, but don't worry.
¿Qué tal?
Howdy, man.
What are you doing here?
Stupid things. Show me the place. Whoa, it's actually big, huh? There is literally a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
This is the new firmware in Antico.
It has more power, I tell you this. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's the Viper V10 with GT3 It's more than 1,000 horsepower. And almost 2,000 Newton meters.
Why? Drifting, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the point where I left the car to the guys at Sin Advanced Motorworks. They would do their magic, and I didn't think anything. If it were to happen, it would happen. And if not, I was ready to embrace it. As I said earlier, we had the part coming all the way from Germany to Barcelona. It was a slave cylinder that we thought that it failed, but when we replaced the slave cylinder, which I guarantee you is not a simple thing, because that slave cylinder is at the top of the gearbox and you basically have very little room to reach. When we replaced it, we found out that the problem was still there. And then we started to research further. And I'm very happy that I was in that workshop with these guys, because they were like grassroots guys that want to find a solution. I could easily imagine that if this happened in a Porsche center, you know, or a traditional sports car workshop, they would literally say, man, this is not fixable, you cannot make it to your track day, and that's that. It was unfortunately the thread in the gearbox that was damaged, which would mean that the slave cylinder would actually move every time you press the pedal. This didn't have an easy solution, but the guys there are like, they are amazing. Like they tackled this as it was a race car, and we had to make it in a 24-hour endurance race. So basically, they didn't give up. They actually made sure that the car was working. And then with a working car, I was armed with confidence that I can make it to my goal, which was still 1,000 kilometers more to the south. So I had to cross the complete country of Spain to arrive all the way down here. So yes, very happy to be road tripping in this thing. I still cannot believe it. 1,200 kilometers to go. I hope it's gonna be like an uneventful trip. We basically have fixed the clutch slave cylinder, and it's only a matter of covering the distance. I will do this nice and slow, and I cannot wait to see this car enter Portugal. So in a minute. Small, quick travel update. There is something very important about to happen here in this car. I know that for some people this might be stupid, but the car is about to clock 100,000 kilometers. So this has happened. The car has 100,000 kilometers. The previous owner had the car for 3 years, and I think drove only 2,500 kilometers. He was trying to keep the car under 100,000 kilometers because, you know, like in the Porsche world, crossing that mental barrier, it means that the car loses value. And here I was with literally no money in my pocket, excited about the fact that I was actually devaluing my Porsche. And I thought maybe about the next 100,000 kilometers that I could put in that car. And we are in Portimao, 3,150 kilometers to come from Greece here, a very eventful trip. I cannot believe that this car 1 week back was without an engine, and now it's in Portugal and it's driving. I have to thank all these people involved, but I'm gonna do this like later in the video. For now, I'm excited to be back here. Last time I was here was in 2020. We were discussing about it last night. I have a feeling that this time I'm going to be the GT3 that the MX-5s overtake, but I'm very happy to do this. There are a few good friends here that have not seen the car, so I'm very excited to actually show it to them for the first time and see their reactions. And there is my good friend Joao with his Turbo MX-5 there. And when I say there, I mean like literally there. You can actually show it on camera. Now, turn. Internet, you cannot make these things up. This is a reality. This is how it happens. So there's gonna be MX-5 action, there's gonna be Porsche action, and all in all, I'm happy to be in Portugal. I'm happy to be in Portimao, which I think is one of the best tracks in Europe, and I cannot wait to drive it. Our final destination was Portimao, one of the best circuits of the whole Iberic area, one of the best circuits in Europe. And it's a track that I absolutely love because it combines some old school elements that you don't normally see in modern tracks. I said maybe earlier in the video that this track is relatively new. It was built in 2008, exactly the same year as my 997 GT3, both 2008 built. And it is an amazing track. First, it was more known as a motorbike track, but thanks to COVID, when Formula One went there, I think car guys kinda found out about this place, and from the end on, I think the track has only been getting more popular. And it is for a great reason. This is one of these tracks that, for me, embody all the cool things that racetracks like Nürburgring and Spa have. Elevation change, blind corners. It's a track with flow. You have this last very difficult final corners with a big compression in the exit. The straight is not flat. It goes like up and then it goes down. When you start braking for that huge straight, the straight is almost 1,000 meters. It's like a 950 meter straight. When you start braking in this big straight, you are downhill and then you have to tackle 2 continuous corners, almost 3. That first part is also very, very cool. And of course, the back part of the track that has a lot of crests and the car gets light. It is honestly one of my favorite tracks in Europe. I cannot really put it in order, but I put it up there with tracks like Mugello and Imola and Spa. A fantastic place. And what makes it even cooler for me, it's the amazing people. I have only good things to say about the Portuguese people, especially my people, the guys that I know. As I said, this is not my first time there. I was there multiple times with work, and I drove my own personal MX-5 all the way from Greece to Portugal to drive it when I did my one lap Europe. So reuniting with my MX-5 friends, going on track with Joao, that's like one of the most amazing guys that I know. Always there ready to help, always a big smile in his face, and a very fast driver. He had his turbo MX-5 there. We actually battled it out together on track. It was amazing because I felt I could use this car like an MX-5. I was there and I didn't have to think about anything. I didn't have to think about the value of the car or all these things that went wrong all the way to go there. I could enjoy it, and after 20 years of driving the same platform that I felt I knew very well, I was there with a car that I felt a beginner again, you know, like it was challenging and interesting, and the car was difficult, but looking at the amazing landscape, looking at these huge clouds as the track dropped, and having there Sergio and Raquel and Jose and Joao, having all my friends there. 4th gear, 5th gear, and the car fucking pulls. Oh guys, look at this view. Look at this place. And I cannot believe that I'm in Portimao, a place that I've seen so many videos and magazine articles, you know. I have seen all these Chris Harris videos that is here, the Top Gear trio driving here, all these cool hypercars. And now I'm here with this car. If that is not crazy.
Three days ago you were across on the other side of Europe, and somehow, by sort of a miracle, you appeared here in the west of Europe, in Portimao, of all places, with this Beetle, and you seem to be very happy. Explain us why.
I'm not 100% sure that I can put it in words, but I will start from the start. Like a few months back, you were there with me.
From the start. What is this? And
you were there with me the first time that this even entered the Algavre universe. We were there in Belgium the first time that we saw this car together. You were there when we bought it. You were there when we put the plates on it. You knew a little bit my plans. You knew that I took it to Greece. And
it almost didn't happen.
You were the guy pushing me. Like I was in Greece. I was ready to drop the towel and say, I think you have seen the video. There were problems.
The guy that probably would not do this kind of shenanigans, that being me, was the guy pushing the guy that normally does these shenanigans and sort of didn't want to do it this time. But the moment he actually came and did and drove and finished the track day and the car is here now in one piece, his face said everything. And this made the trip worth for me as well. So we are very happy people.
We are very happy, and we could leave it at that. Like honestly, I think this is one of these times that I cannot say many people helped. I like specifically want to mention. I want to mention first of all, Joao and Sergio pushing originally for the idea, saying like you have to come here. Then I have to thank Labros at Trackspeed because basically the engine of this car was not. Do I have it here?
Yeah.
He fully deserves to be here. The engine of this car was not there, and I said, listen, it should not happen. And then he said, no, let's see if we can fix it. So let's take everything down, and we did.
And it happened.
And they did fix it. And then it almost didn't happen again if it wasn't for Enrique at Barcelona. So you probably have seen it earlier in the video, but I stopped at Barcelona at seen Advanced Motorworks, and they saved the fucking day because I still didn't have a proper working clutch. I could have probably came here. Maybe I would leave the car in 4th gear and be around.
And still have a good time,
And
but,
still have a
but,
good time,
it's
but-
not ideal.
And on top of everything, I have to thank all our friends that came here. Raquel, Jose, all Johan, even like all these people that came here just to be around with us this day, which actually made me even happier because I could share it with friends.
And you don't want to mention the guy that didn't come? We don't mention
We
him.
no, we do not mention him. But like honestly, I said it before in the video. Maybe it's in the edit, maybe it's not. One of the best days of my complete adult life. Like one of the best days. Like point. I cannot even tell you why. It's not the car. It's not just the truck. It's not just the friends. It's the combination.
The combination of factors.
The reason that we do cars and the reason that this fucking channel exists and the reason that this video is gonna go online because probably
It's moment like those.
exactly because probably I would not even share all this because it was too troublesome to actually be out there. But the moment that all actually connects, days like this hobby makes sense. And if you like cars and if you have dreams and you want to do things, go do things. No matter what other people say, they will tell you it's stupid, it's expensive, it's difficult. But then
Go
it connects.
out and do it.
Go out and do it in a car that you like, with people that you like, and then everything
Will make
makes
sense.
Thank you very much for being around. No, we don't do that. We fucking hug.